Hello, peoples. Welcome to the Stoked Bloke Show, coming to you from the Pipeline Studios at the New Earth Project House here at Pipeline. It has been the champions. It's been incredible winter, mate. Nature has just been providing non-stop swells. Today's show, we're going to wrap the winter. We're going to look back at all that went on here, just briefly.
Everything that went on.
Well, not everything, but the main highlights, mate. The stuff that really struck us. One of the interesting things, I was sitting there thinking, okay, there's 3 Pipeline champions.
That's right.
And I was like, okay, Koa Rothman backdoor shootout. And I was like, oh my gosh, I can't remember the others. Nathan Florence, Pipeline Masters. Do you remember who won the WSL?
Barron Mamiya.
Yes, how could we forget that?
2-time.
Unbelievable. How's those 3 winners? Koa Rothman, Nathan Florence, and Barron Mamiya.
All locals, all within 2 miles of each other here on the North Shore.
And we propose that you 3 surf it off.
We need
for the ultimate pipe master.
That's right.
No judges.
8-hour heat.
No, nothing. Yeah, just 1 heat, maybe 2, maybe best of 3. But you guys judge it. You guys figure it out.
When and where?
And let us know.
Out here at Pipe?
It has to be a pipe.
Where
else could it be?
Could we do it in retrospect and just make it an online? We put their best waves up from the winter.
You guys could put your best waves up. We could get everyone to vote on it for them, and we could let the public decide
and give away $100. The ultimate pipeline champion. They don't need the money.
No, they don't.
No.
And winning pipeline's enough, isn't it?
Well, apparently not to you. Now they need to be the ultimate pipeline winner.
That's right. Well, there's 3 in 1 year, mate. We need to decide this. We need to figure this out, boys. You guys need to surf it off and let us know who wins. Or we can take it online for you. We know you've got massive online audiences. And then what about the Eddie iCow Invitational? That was a historic event. They were massive.
Another local boy who lives within that area, right?
Yeah, Landon McNamara. Congratulations to him. Big shout out to the McNamara family. Stoked that Mackay's on the road back to full recovery.
You were involved in the Eddie.
Yes, I commentated the Eddie.
Your voice was strong in this Hawaiian Winter, besides your podcast, but you were a voice of the shootout, and you were a judge,
yes,
and you made your presence known, and you were interviewing people at the Eddie. So you were pretty involved in these contests.
And it's nice to know that where you live, the people appreciate what you could bring and offer you a job to go and work. And then that must mean that you have something that's worthwhile to the events and be able to bring that to the events. So that's a privilege and an honour.
First-hand experience really draws into this. What was your takeaway of the Eddie in general?
I just thought it was absolutely historic. I thought every year it seems to just get bigger and bigger. Like that was a closeout set day where there were closeout sets consistently. Back in the day, those closeout set days, and particularly pre-jet skis, weren't so favourable. There's big problems to be had if you didn't have a jet ski.
There's literally no limit on the high side that they won't hold that event, huh?
Now it just keeps expanding, and the talent levels that we've seen all winter long are legendary, historic. People and around the globe, let's talk, hasn't been the greatest Nazare winter, right? We've seen bigger and gnarlier things at Nazare in the past, but for Mavericks, that had its biggest wave ever ridden. That thing was an absolute giant. Jaws, the stuff that went on at Jaws was some of the biggest waves we've ever seen ridden there, paddled into some of the time. So, the whole level is just exploding. Surfing itself is on such a high, and it's going places that I never ever imagined possible. I didn't think people could do what they do today. In the air, in the size of the waves, in the paddle-ins, in the tow-in stuff that leads to loops and acrobatic surfing. Who thought? And the continual progression. What goes on out here in a single day, peoples, is astonishing. We just watched Koa Smith get a backdoor barrel that was, 7 seconds long. I don't know, one of the longest ones you've ever seen. It was just a normal day where it's,
right before we went
3
on
to
air.
5, just right before we went on air. And the winter is not over. We're not into summer yet, because there's another swell right around the corner.
It's supposed to be 2 days of perfect pipe coming up tomorrow.
Big too. And so it's been consistent pipeline. Let's talk about pipeline. Actually, before we go to pipeline, let's give a shout out to Steve from Chopped Surf Co.
Chopped
Surf Co.
Why is it called Chopped? Surf Co.
And it's called Chop because Stephen had his arm chopped off.
How?
Literally, I don't want to give away the secrets and the details of this, but we're going to interview Stephen. And once I get to the point of mastering the old Riverside and can start to do some of those distant interviews, Steve's our first guest. He sent the T-shirt over. He had his arm chopped off, and surfing has been his saviour, mate. He kneeboards. He loves it. He's so passionate about it, and it's so much so that, what has he got? The _ Chopped Arm Surf Co, I think it is, on Instagram, and he's one of those inspiring characters who had a massive blow and turned it into a positive, and surfing has saved him and given him hope for his future. And it's a beautiful story. We're going to catch up with him, and I'm going to do that interview and share it with you guys as well. So thanks to Stephen from Newquay, Cornwall, England, for the T-shirt. And you, my friend, have been sitting here filming the best pipeline season perhaps of all time.
Yeah, I realized I got to make a movie.
Yes.
So I'm making a movie. New Earth Project presents Pipeline movie.
Yeah.
And it's my footage, my nephew John King, and Tucker Wooding, the best drone.
His drone
filmer
stuff's
in business.
incredible.
Got great interviews with basically the top 12 guys from here. Jamie, John, Kelly. It's interesting.
Yeah. Barron.
Yeah,
Makana Pang, Moana, the Queen. Surfed with her at VLAND yesterday.
Yeah, it's going to be cool, and looking forward to that. That should be out really soon. We'll be taking that around. It'll be fun. Pipeline's interesting,
is it a
right?
cinema release?
Yeah, it'll be everything.
Yeah, it'll be everything.
Why
would you not be everything?
It'll be everything. It'll be on Amazon Prime. It'll be in the theaters. It'll be at your school. What I do is shoot and edit, so there'll be a 5-minute version, a 12-minute version, a 22-minute version, a 54-minute version. I mean, we'll have it all ways to Sunday. I might even have like a heavily influenced Barton Lynch voiceover version.
Oh, there you go. All ways to Sunday.
Yeah, only Goofy Foot version, just depending on the crowd, right?
Yes.
But it's going to be exciting to have, for us, a project like that we can show, like I said, 10 ways to Sunday, and it'd be good to showcase what's been going on out here.
And how would you surmise what this winter has been, what you've watched go on out the backyard here?
Well, like the last 2 or 3 winters, we had like 2 or 3 days. That was it. Like hunting for 1/2 day during a Vans Pipe Masters or 1 3/4 day during a Pipeline Pro. And this year, after all the events were done, all of a sudden it just turned on for 2.5, 3 weeks, and it's just been incredible. Guys were taking days off, like Pipeline legend guys were taking days off. It was perfect, and they're like, I'm just gonna live through today. I'll be back tomorrow.
Breathe through today.
Breathe. It's heavy out there. Heavy. I've been in the channel, filming right there, and guys coming by, and it's. The look in their eyes is like, is this going to end? It needs to end. It needs to end.
It's emotional, and it is extremely challenging living here and having to face up. We've talked about that before on the podcast. Having to face up every day to something as dangerous as Pipeline, and then as big and wild as all the other breaks, and even on the small days on the shallow reefs and sandbars.
There's a lot of ways to get hurt. You got to be 100% focused on every wave on the North Shore. But there were some weeks where I was just shooting pipe, and I don't want to surf Pipeline because it's not for me anymore, And I'm like, I'm going to go down to Haleiwa. I went to Haleiwa. It felt like I went to Indonesia. It was so far away. It was such a different thing that I've been looking at Pipeline. And then I came back and I'm like, okay, I'm back at Pipe. Just filming, but it's radical.
Oh, it's been an incredible winter. Look out for Pipeline, presented by a New Earth Project, coming your way soon, coming always to Sunday soon. And next talk, winter, natural selection.
Wow.
A New Earth Project have a relationship with Natural Selection Tour?
Yeah, Travis Rice expanding out of snow. The Natural Selection Tour in snow is incredible, what he put together. It's a little different than the mainstream events. And
you were there? You were just in Revelstoke?
We went last year too, man.
I know.
The backcountry was insane. We rode with Travis one day.
I was coming this year, except I got dogs.
We were heliboarding and we missed you.
Yeah,
I'm not the greatest snowboarder, but I can surf the snow.
How's the pow?
There's just moments for me when I'm going down. We got dropped off in the helicopter. And it's beautiful, and I'm carving, Marvin. And you get to a point, and everyone's a little bit ahead of you, and you see the lines, and you're like, what am I doing here? How am I going to get through that? Back to the open meadow. Could you just give me a 20-mile open meadow run? Why do I have to go through a switchback and a death tree line with big tree wells? And heart's pounding.
Yes, yes.
I'm not in the best shape. I lost weight, but I mean, man, it's hard when you fall in that powder. You push your hand down. There's nothing to push off, and you're just struggling to do that crunch. That you know what I'm talking about.
100%.
The worst thing you could do is click out and start hiking because you're sinking, and you can never get your foot back in with all that powder. Anyway. It's pretty tough, man.
It's a first world problem, PK.
Yeah, first world problem.
But it is indeed a
Somebody
magical
paid about
thing.
$100,000 for me to do it, but it was hard. But I'll tell you, then
I'm going there.
Okay,
Canada.
Then I went. So we did the heliboarding thing. It's unreal in the powder, and I'll show some footage of me.
Yes,
but the
let's see
problem
it,
is, then I went back to the slopes. I don't like the slopes now. This is a first world problem.
You're a little bit fancy.
I don't like the slopes.
But
is there anywhere? Tell me, Japan. I hear. Is there anywhere where I can take a lift up? Go down a groomed run with about 6 inches to a foot of powder. Is there anywhere I can do that?
No, there is.
Tell me where.
I'm going to Big White.
Is that good?
Yeah, we leave tonight.
Are you hiking into the backcountry,
Well,
though?
we don't have to do that. We do. There's some what they call slack country, which is close to town and not so hard to get to.
Does it get you back to the main run and
You
a lift
can
at the
get
bottom?
back to them. Yes, indeed,
Okay.
you can.
Not
No
too
helicopters
risky?
needed.
Not too risky?
Not too risky. As risky as you want.
Is Lion going to do the
He's
same
gonna
line as you?
He'll do the same lines as me. Pretty
Well, if
much.
a 9-year-old can do it, I can do it.
10, yeah, but
10.
he's getting better at that.
Than
every
you.
day. I'm excited, mate, to go ride.
Does Lion love it?
He loves it. When he came back, he's that type of kid. Today we surfed pipeline this morning, and it was small and perfect, as perfect as it could
Now
be
he
for a
doesn't
kid.
want to go snowboarding.
And he goes, pipeline's my favourite wave, Dad. Pipeline's my favourite wave. And then we go snowboarding. He's like, I want to be a professional snowboarder, Dad. I want to be we better move to the snow if you want to be a snowboarder.
It's a fine line between professional surfer, professional surf bum, professional snowboarder, professional snow bum.
That's right.
It's a fine line. You do the same thing.
Board bum.
You're
just a board bum.
You do the same thing.
I love that, mate. You're just riding boards. That's all I want to do.
I know.
Until it's over.
Skate, surf, foil,
just keep
snow.
riding. Yeah, just keep riding different boards, different waves. Every day there's something good for it. And we are living in a paradise where we can do that.
Real quick, I just want to remind
mate.
you, just because I'm going to just edit our little, when I talk about Revelstoke, I probably won't say heli, blah, blah.
No.
But, you were supposed to come with us. The offer was there.
The offer was there.
And we missed you. You had a brand new Orca waiting for you, which we gave away.
What?
Yeah, it was a Travis Rice board. Nice little 157 Orca was waiting for you. Backcountry board, some nice bindings too.
You hearing this, Holly?
Maybe next time.
And Lion?
Maybe next time.
They've got something to answer for.
Don't say no next time.
And their love of dogs. Starlay Sandbeck from Norway won the men's. Is that how you pronounce it? Did I butcher that?
We're watching this run right now.
Yeah.
The perfect blend of surf and snow.
Snow. And both the finalists, Blake Moeller from the US got second. They were both rookies in natural selection this year. So their first time out, and it shows how much talent there is out in that world.
You like watching that backcountry stuff?
Yeah, I do.
Does it resonate with you, or is it too?
It's too far, mate.
Too
it's
radical?
too beyond my capabilities.
Yeah.
It's like watching
WSL, guys doing it,
exactly, and people flying through the air. It's like it's entertaining, but in terms of brain food, it's a little bit beyond what I need. I love watching people in the pow in the trees surfing their way through, and that as motivation. But to watch the most progressive snowboarding in the world, and then watch the most progressive surfing event, something that was new and fresh, natural selection surf.
Natural selection surf, unreal.
Down in Micronesia, went to air and got really good responses, and the surfers loved it. They scored waves down there that were
heavy,
gnarly, heavy, mate.
That was
what
Travis wanted, was heavy waves, right?
And it was a statement. It really was a statement as to what their intentions were. That is the hardest place to run an event. That's the most difficult event you could bite off and chew and try and do in your first year of anywhere in the world. And so it was, in that sense, it was a real statement. It showed a commitment to getting out on the beaten track and adventuring, showed a commitment to some new ideas around judging, around formats. It proved that there's so many good surfers in this world. There's not just the WSL. There's a whole second and third tier, or not even tiers, but levels of surfers who are all equally at that level, most probably.
Well, you had like a Sully Bailey who was on tour and is a charger. Incredible.
Yeah, winning the event. That was amazing. Solly, and beating Alan Cleland Jr. Represents Mexico. Dad from San Diego too,
Did natural selection have to pay a fee for Alan to be in that event? They usually have to pay a sanctioning fee to have a WSL surfer.
I think they got, and they worked with WSL, and there was,
permission.
cohesive relations between the two. Good. And allowed for those guys to surf. Carly Vast as well, getting down there for the goofies. Looked tough for the goofy footers. Harry Bryant, he threw himself over. But the best wave of the event is seen at Solly Bailey, the heaviest one, and it was missed on the camera, but there's a sequence of it. And it's a gnarly ride. They should have shown that sequence a few more times in the broadcast because it was one of the influencing factors in him winning everything. Mila Brown won the women's.
A little star, huh?
Well, I think my co-commentator said she looks like a fairy but has a mouth like a pirate. And she dropped a few F-bombs. And her spirit is so sparky, mate. She's ready to go. She will throw herself over and throw herself up and into all sorts of stuff, and she was very committed. I've got to take my hat off to Kira Pinkerton. She is the runner-up. On the big day, she won the big day. For sure, of the women. She was on another level. She was going up 50, 100 metres further deep on the point than where the other ladies were, and she was just incredible. So big shout-outs to Kira Pinkerton, Travis, Jason Murray, everybody involved, the whole crew. Good job, congratulations. Obviously there's things we can learn and stuff we can do different, but in the end it was a successful event and a successful little entree into the surfing world. Congratulations to everyone at Natural Selection and a New Earth Project for their support of it. We want to pay our respects to the passing of our old mate, good mate, great mate, Shane Herring, one of the most talented surfers we've all ever seen, just such a natural personality and style and charisma to the way he rode a wave that was all him, and he burnt the torch at both ends for a long time and charged into life on his terms. He recently just passed away, so we send out our love to the Herring family, to all that know him and all of Australia, all of the surfing world. Everyone. He was a bright, shining star, much like Andy Irons, much like one of those people that came in with a flurry and and had a very big influence on a lot of people in surfing. So, love you, Hero, and see you on the other side, mate. Thank you for watching the show, peoples. Thank you, PK, for being here for us. Thank you guys for watching. Keep telling your friends. Get the followers. I just cracked 7,000 followers on...
What?
It's only 7,000. No, that's crap.
If you sold out 7,000 people in a concert, you'd be the most popular artist of your day.
That's
7,000 people paying to see you.
Well,
wait,
they're not really
this
paying.
is free.
Yeah, that's right, exactly. But we appreciate the 7 of you, and we'd like more.
Yeah.
So if you'd like the show, you like what we produce, give us a follow, and we'll keep pumping it out. Big thank you to A New Earth Project for the show and the Pipeline Studios. Thank you for watching. See you next time.